Thank you for coming to the April 1st edition of the Board of Selectmen Highway Commissioner and Cemetery Commissioners meeting. Just letting everyone know this meeting is being recorded. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First on the agenda, citizen comments. Is there any citizen in the audience this evening that would like to speak on something? Yes, it's being recorded. We've got to make sure we get that in. Back to citizen comments. Is there any citizen with us here this evening that would like to speak on something that is not on this evening's agenda? Okay, moving forward. Next on the agenda, the acceptance of minutes, March 11th, 2004, March 11th, 2004 executive session, March 18th, 2024, and March 18th, 2024 executive session. Mr. Marcy.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Sullivan.
I don't believe we can release
Without
the
releasing executive. That's what I
so why don't we take those separate?
Okay, separate.
That's, want to change it to just
Yes.
with the permission of the second?
Yep.
Okay, so we're accepting all of the minutes, and we're not releasing March 11th, nor are we releasing March 18th. correct?
Executive session, yeah.
The executive session pieces.
Excellent.
Second's good with that?
I'll go with that.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Next on the agenda, appointment. Registrar appointment. Liz Parent, 10 Luther Lane, Dudley, Mass. Term to expire March 31st, 2027. Is Liz Parent with us here this evening? No.
Appointed, Mr. Chairman.
This is a reappointment?
Yes, she's existing.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the board? Mr. Marcy?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the reappointment of Liz Parrott of 10 Luther Lane, Dudley, Mass., with their term to expire March 31st, 2027.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Next on the agenda, we have a public hearing, a poll hearing, rescheduled for March 4th and March 11th, 2024. It is a JO poll hearing, number 309-00108, School Court, National Grid to install one JO pole on School Court, beginning at a point approximately 70 feet easterly of the center line of the intersection of Oxford Ave, and continuing approximately 15 feet in an easterly direction. National Grid is installing a new pole in line with an existing pole line. The purpose of this pole is to allow space for the installation of a three-phase transformer bank to provide service to 24 Oxford Ave. National Grid will anchor the pole. I'm going to open this hearing at 6:48 p.m. Is there anyone here from National Grid? You could come up, tell us who you are, and
My name is Mohammed. I am the designer for this job.
could you just give us a little information what we're looking to do?
Yeah, so there is a new customer for us on 24 Oxford Ave, right on the corner of Oxford Ave and School Street, or School Court. They're asking for a three-phase service, and we're trying to install a three-phase transformer bank for them. Currently, there are no spaces in the poles nearby where we can accommodate that, which is why we have to install a new pole. The new pole will be in between existing pole 14-1 and pole 1 on School Court. This pole, will, like in the notes, will be in line. We'll put a transformer bank on it, and we'll anchor the pole back so that it just because of the tensions on the primary lines on that pole.
The board have any questions? Mr.
Just
Sullivan?
One question, Mohammed, is that new garage we're talking about?
Kinda, yeah. It's it's a couple units there. To the yellow building right at the corner of School Court and Oxford Ave.
Just trying to picture it, but take his word for it.
Okay. Any other questions, comments from the board? Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this matter? Not seeing anyone. We're going to close the public hearing at 6:40 p.m. Mr. Marcy?
Michelle, the paperwork's all set up, all okay?
What is the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion, Mr. Chair, we grant the request for National Grid for JO poll number 309000108, corner School Court in Oxford Ave.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
All right,
Thank you
cool.
very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Next on the agenda, we have LACH Incorporated DBA Club Jigger, 41 Brandon Road, Dudley, Mass. Change or alteration of premises, outside space. Teresa Lack, owner-manager. Did I say that correct?
Yes.
Excellent, thank you. This is also a public hearing. We'll open this public hearing at 6:41 PM. If you'd like to come up. Tell us who you are and what we're doing.
My name is Teresa Lach. I'm the owner of Club Jigger, Lack Incorporated, and I like to keep my outside drinking like we did for the last couple, 3 years.
Okay. This,
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Sullivan.
So Teresa, this is just the area you already have delineated in your parking lot, right? By
Correct.
the concrete.
Yes, yes, barriers, yep.
Yeah, we've done this for,
Yes.
2 years, right?
2 years.
This needs to be signed.
Yes, two.
Just, I don't know, America's chief, everything's good over there, right? No problems? Right. Perfect. Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any board members have any questions, comments, anything? Anyone here wish to be heard on this? Okay. We'll close the public hearing at 6:42 PM. What is the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Sullivan?
grant the request of the applicant, Teresa Lach, DBA as Lach Inc., Club Jigger, to grant the request today for alteration of premise to allow outside space.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really, I'll hand you this meeting.
Okay. Next on the agenda, we have citation award Dudley Grange number 163 in Sunrise, Pomona. Award to Stephen Winger, presented by the Dudley Grange number 163 for his years of service to the town of Dudley. So like to come up? Wherever you'd like to be, either the table, the podium, whatever works for you.
I have a good enough.
Thank you.
I don't know if it has to be recorded.
Oh, there's a microphone right there. You can just speak clearly and away we go.
Okay, first of all, we wanted to, I don't know if you all are familiar with the we have Dudley Grange, and there's this, an award from the Pomona Grange. So I wanted to clarify that. The Dudley Grange is from our town. Now, and what is a Grange? Does everybody, I mean, you know we do the Strawberry Festival, you know we do the Apple Festival. That's just not our role. We're a non-profit, fraternal organization concerned with agricultural and also community. Because in New England, some of our dairy farms are no longer in existence. Pomona is like a district organization. Dudley and Charlton and Upton and Ware are all a part of.
Uxbridge, all of central Massachusetts.
The green that we're wearing is Pomona. The blue that some of our fellow rangers are wearing is from the Dudley, the subordinate range. Okay, so if you have any questions about how this is coming about, this is what it is. And this award is given from the Pomona side of it, and it's more or less for community. And our recipient, and he knows about it, it's not a surprise, is our retired police chief, Stephen Warner. You want to come up here and get all it, or do you want to just stay?
No, you can come on up.
Hey, if we were up here, you could be up
You
here.
gotta come up. Stand.
I spent enough time with the folks over here anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's being bestowed on our retired police chief. This award is given by us, okay? He began as a reserve Dudley police officer in 1988. Correct, anything? While attending Quincy College. In 1990, he became a full-time patrolman. He continued his education and attained a master's degree at Western New England College in 2001. Good school. Stephen, who promoted to sergeant in 2002, and then became Dudley Police Chief a year later. After 34 years on the Dudley Police Force and serving 20 years as a Dudley Police Chief, Warner retired on January 13, 2023. While on the Dudley Force, Stephen has been involved in many cases, including the first Amber Alert in Massachusetts in 2003, right here in Dudley. Yeah, we were really famous.
Made history.
Yeah. He served as the department's court liaison officer and crime scene technician. Officer Warner has been active in our schools, formerly serving as a field attendance officer, assisting in starting the school resource officer program, and is known as, and I wish there were some kids here, I didn't mention it to the schools, officer friendly. At the, especially at the Mason Road Elementary School. There he started the High Five Fridays. Yeah, they would have been here, they could have demonstrated. to greet all the students arriving at school and would join them at lunch. How did you fit into those chairs?
Lunch chairs were easy, the classrooms were a little tougher.
They loved it when he read stories to them. Stephen's charitable undertakings have included the United Way of Webster and Dudley, helping address the needs of Dudley seniors, HANDS, and the Jimmy Fund. He has served on the Southern Worcester County Drug and Counter Crime Task Force as president of the Central Massachusetts Chiefs of Police, as a member of the Executive Planning Committee for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and as president of the Massachusetts Chief of Police Association in 2018. A native of South Grafton, Warner was inducted into the Grafton High School Athletic Hall of Fame in 2016. Additionally, he has served as an adjunct professor in the Criminal Justice Program at Nichols College since 2009 and is currently the Director of Public Safety at Nichols College. And before we go any further, there was an also addition. With all that, our friend Stephen had another different celebration this month of April, and I bet you didn't even think about that.
Couple days, yes.
That brought our community to a standstill for a while. Seriously, it did. He was diagnosed with stage 3 colorectal cancer in April of 2014. This month marks 10 years of success of beating this dreaded disease, and he not only had the support of his wife, Christine, the children, Amber and Joe, as well as the rest of his family and friends, for prayers and good wishes from fellow officers, town officials, and community members, especially school children, through this difficult and challenging time. That police station down there was coated with get well cards, and it was wonderful. Talk about community building. You had to get a disease like that, so we had to go.
Well, that's the more thing to make.
Okay, and, yes. Office is a man for your public service to his town, and I did that, so there you go. I wanted to make sure we got that in. You're welcome.
All right, and now this is our president master of our county subordinate Grange, Pomona Grange. She's the head of all the local Granges here at Sunrise Pomona, and she has your award plaque, and she's gonna read it for you and tell you what it is.
Pomona Grange Award for Public Service, presented with appreciation to Stephen J. Wojner in recognition of your personal commitment and involvement as a servant of the people. Your examples of unfailing readiness to render service and wholehearted support of the principles of our democratic system are sincerely appreciated by the members of Sunrise Pomona Grange No. 9. Given this first day of April 2024. It's signed by myself, Harry Vale, Kristen Paulson, our lecturer, the National Master of the Grange, Betsy Huber, and Peter Pompier, who is our Community Service Director. Congratulations.
Well, we have one more thing.
One more though.
have another award coming your way.
There's more.
Get a picture.
Gonna put my other hat on.
Congratulations.
All right, no, congratulations, what an honor. Hi, guys, thanks for coming. See you.
Is this your first official act?
As it's sworn in, yes, it is. Yes, it is. So,
Talk about an honor.
there it is. So, Linda, you read a lot of this. So I will,
Skim.
huh? No, I'll abridge it, how about that? So this is from the Massachusetts Senate resolution congratulating retired Dudley Police Chief Stephen J. Wayner on receiving the Sunrise Pomona Grange Public Service Award. So it goes on to say, whereas, all the things that Linda had mentioned, and resolved that a copy of these resolutions be transmitted forthwith by the clerk of the Senate to Stephen J. Wayner, and on behalf of the Massachusetts House of Representatives and the State Senate, I present this word to you, signed by Michael D. Hurley, clerk of the Senate. Stephen, thank you very much for serving.
Do you have a few words for us, Steve?
I can do that. Yeah. I'll go over here so I can talk.
There you go.
That way I can talk.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you. I won't take up too much time, but thank you very much to the Grange. It's also to the board and to everybody else that's here, especially Chief Karlowitz, the rest of the department, my wife Christine, and my kids and family, friends, everybody else. This was always one of those things where you did this job. It was, you're not a golfer or you're not a tennis player. You're part of a team, no matter where you were. And I had the fortunate piece to have a great wife and family behind me, a great group I worked with, a great community. You know, and I always admired the Grange because we had a lot. I remember when the Williamses went through our police academy, Citizens Police Academy, many years ago, and then provided a donation from the Grange to us to better that program, simply because you're involved in the community with things. And it's just good, down-to-earth people that are doing really good work to help promote agriculture and things in the community. So I can't really thank them enough for this. It's a tremendous honor. And yeah, thank you for pointing out too. Yeah, 10 years ago this week, I was diagnosed with a cancer, and so that's a humbling experience for anybody who's ever gone through that. And fortunately, if you can make it through, and so you really know who you have in your life that supports you and is behind you. And so, from my wife and my kids and my family and my friends, the folks in the department, all you folks were all part of that too the whole time there, and the community members and things really made that a easier process for me through the whole thing. And so I can't believe it was already that long ago, April 4th. But I'm just glad to be here and lucky to be alive. So I had a great run. It was a really great time with the department. I think overall, certainly with some bumps along the way, as there usually are, but overall it was a really good experience, and I'm glad I did it. I really appreciated the work and everything here from the town of Dudley. So again, thank you very much for this. It's a great honor. I appreciate it. Thank you. Congratulations, Mr. Marcy. I'm glad I could get to your first official act there. You know.
Thanks, yeah, right?
What do you want, Chris?
Honor is mine, Chief.
Wherever you want to go, you tell me what to do.
Can we
Oh.
do like a group?
Debbie's the boss.
All right. Steve, please.
Get in the middle.
And if you
Yeah.
lovely people would like to bunch up there with the selectmen somewhere, that would be fabulous.
Same here. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Chris?
Stand in front of you over here.
Oh, you know the rules. You know it. You know you.
Oh, you can all
you can't.
come in if you want.
Yeah, please.
You go wherever you want to go, I will move.
I don't want to be in front of those.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's what we want.
Kevin, can you go in, like over there, right over there? Yeah, great.
Chrissy, come up there with your husband.
Yeah, you gotta stand next to him.
He doesn't want to get in the pictures.
She's coming, just gotta
Too
shame
late.
her. Just gotta shame her into it, she's coming.
I know.
Now, do you
Well, see you.
Oh, it's great.
Okay, everybody, biggest smiles possible. No, I got everybody. No blinking.
Look at she now, she's seeing.
Thank you.
Do I get to put on my other hat now, Michelle?
Everybody's wearing different hats today, I guess. Next on the,
We're not taking you out of order.
And I want to make sure you.
Oh, thank you.
That's-
Oh, wonderful.
I don't know if any, I have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
couple extra.
Please.
Thank you.
That's very nice.
Put this into the record.
Thank you very much.
Great to meet you.
Thank you.
thank you.
That's pretty.
Pretty cool.
We'll give him a few seconds to.
Yeah.
Chief, so nice to meet you again. Ma'am, nice to meet you.
Folks, it's short recess.
Yeah, we're just giving the retired chief a moment to the receiving line on the way out. Okay, next on the agenda. A moment to put the other hat on. Next on the agenda, Nichols College request for an outdoor entertainment license, Friday, April 5th, 2024, Friday, April 12th, 2024, Friday, April 19th, 2024, and Friday, April 26th, 2024, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., located at the Copper Beach Quad for Nichols After Dark events. Hello.
Hello, Heather Bowes with Nichols College.
Yes, thought we were waiting for him. Sorry, we would have kept
No,
going.
I think he's up later.
Didn't see you in the back.
Hello. We're just looking to get some entertainment permits for the 4 Fridays in April. Trying to get the kids out of their dorm. We have an acoustic guitar guy, a DJ one night, and 2 nights they haven't secured entertainment yet. They're just looking to see how it goes, see how the weather is. I don't know if they'll be out there this Friday or not, but
Chief, do you have anything?
Yeah, the only thing I would ask for is if there's any alcohol being served during the events, that there would be a police officer present.
we don't have a bar per se ordered for them or anything.
Is there going to be alcohol present?
I mean, I can't say one way or the other. I mean,
I guess the question, Mr. Chair, is Nichols providing alcohol for cost or for
no,
gratis?
no.
So will Nichols monitor students?
Yes,
that
public
may be
safety
bringing
will be on hand that night.
I say maybe we get a detail. Rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
I mean, I don't really think it's any different than our fire pits we've had.
I'm sorry?
I don't think it's really gonna be any different than fire pits we've had in the past.
Okay. Thoughts from, well, you've said your thoughts. If you have more to add, by all means, and then I think.
Again, I'm not sure what the alcohol consumption is gonna be, but I know in the past when they do have band and stuff like that, we've had a detail there in case there's any noise issues and stuff like that, but that's up to the board to decide that, but my recommendation would be to have a police officer there.
Mr. Chairman, with the abundance of caution, I think the detail should be there for those 4 events.
Mr. Sullivan?
I'm glad everyone saw the wisdom of my suggestion.
We usually do.
Yeah.
Usually do. What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Sullivan?
grant the request for the following dates: April 5th, 2024, April 12th, 2024, April 19th, 2024, April 26th, 2024, from 7 to 10, with the caveat that a police detail will be present and on site for the entire duration of the requests.
Second.
Motion and a second. Are we going to refrain from signing the license until that detail has been?
I say we sign but not release until you get an email from the police chief saying we're all set.
I just wanted to confirm that.
Because we won't be back in session again before.
No, we won't. That's why I wanted to make sure we had something in place.
That's a good.
Can I just ask a
Thank you.
question? I'm just curious, is this, I mean, we've had them in the past. We had one last fall, I know, for Oktoberfest. They played up, they had an acoustic guy out on the guest house lawn. Is this gonna be something they need to do every time? I mean, I know we had one for the Fire and Ice, which was where we had a bar, and we had a roped-off area where the kids had to be in the bar area, and I know we needed a police detail, and we had a fire detail for that event. Is this gonna be for every time that we have music outside?
Possibly,
Okay.
possibly,
I mean, just so we know, so
I'm
they
gonna be
can put it
honest,
in their
in light
budget.
in light of recent events at the school,
Okay, no, just so we can make sure that they put it in each budget for each event.
yeah.
Mr. Chair, I can also change my motion. Chief Kolowitz clearly stated he would prefer to see a detail there. We can change our motion to reflect that if you'd like, or we can just for the record reflect that Chief Kolowitz was in support of a detail.
You could add that, but I think, I'm not sure what you mean, but I know this board usually takes the advice of the department heads
Right.
that we have in
That's
place.
what-
We put
that's
trust
what
in
you're
them.
Right.
But, and if you wanted to add that to the motion, just to have that codified,
Who's the
so to
seconder?
speak, was Mr. Johnson.
With the permission, I'll add it that the police chief recommended it.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Next on the agenda, we have Nichols College parking waiver, permission to park on both sides of Center Road for move-out days, Wednesday, April 24th, 2024, and Saturday, May 4th, 2024. Yes.
Well, Mr. Chairman, yes, I gave you the letter from the college on that. What is happening is, I think classes are ending on April 30th, or May 1st. It's right around that time when the classes are officially ending. But what has been told to me was that students are going to probably start moving out, starting on around the 24th, like the week ahead, and working down. So one of the things we had thought about was to try to get ahead of that a little bit, to allow for some vehicles to park on that side of the street while they're moving vehicles, or while they're moving out of the rooms. So I had a discussion with the police chief today, and so I wanted to make sure a couple things, that it's not free and open parking all the time for people just to go up and hang out or go have lunch or whatever it might be. Strict purpose for that would be for moving out of the dorms, A. And B, we want to move the line down to in front of where the Copper Beach dorm is. So as you're on Center Road, if you're looking where the dining hall is, it's the first building to the left. There's a set of stairs that go down there. We'd make it from that building down to Olson Hall. So we're restricted down there. I'd rather work with the police department during those times too, to have patrols at any times when those are going on, just to make sure people aren't staying up there for any extended period of time. Working with the facilities and the operations crew too, to have some additional signage put up there to make sure we can contain things in those areas. I think this is just the whole point of this is to try if they can extend it out a little bit, or rather than having it in a 2 or 3 day span, or even a 1 day span as it's been in some cases. It really creates some problems up there. So if it's spread out over a few days, just to allow some use in that area would be very helpful. So that would be what I would do to amend the request.
Mr. Sullivan.
I have a question, Steve. I had the distinct pleasure of moving 4 children out of college. We used to get like a ticket, or you had an email towards the end. They gave you like a time. You could be in front for, say, 20 minutes, and then you had to move into a different parking area. Is that something you folks look at or think about? 'Cause you could-
Yeah, there's a few things going on. They had some recent movements in the residential life department up there. So those are some discussions that we're having, especially for move-in days, to be able to do it. The harder part about the move-out portion is that it would have to be scheduled through someone, because everybody's class schedule ends differently. Some people are athletes; they're not going right away. There's other things that are taking place. But for move-in times, I think that's one thing that was on the table, in order to kind of limit the time frame that you're going to be on in those areas.
I just remember we had to like sign up, for example, say it was May 4th. They'd say, okay, you come from 11 to 11:20.
Yeah. I think a lot of things would be on the table. A lot of things would be on the table for the future. It just would be tough to do it within about a 2-week span, I think.
Okay.
Just to, real quick, just to clarify, on the agenda it says both sides. I think we agreed to do one side of the road, so it would be the west side. And originally, we reduced it down to basically just parking in front of the dorms. So if the kids were parked in front of the dining hall, that would be a no-go. I know in the past, we've done, I think, 2 days to move out. If it spreads it out over a couple more days, maybe the traffic won't be as bad. But I did work with former Chief Wojnar regarding this, and I think we came up to a decent solution. Try it out. If it doesn't work for next year, then we change it. But I think based on what we talked about, I don't see any issues other than if anything comes up, we'll address them and then deal with it next year, maybe make it better next year.
Thanks, Chief.
So to clarify, it's not both sides of Center Road?
No, it would just be the west side, as you're going towards Connecticut, on the dining hall side, so it would be, I would consider that south side, but I guess if you look at the map, it would probably be western.
Thank you, Chief. And you're all set with that on one side of the street? You don't have any
Yes, that's
concerns?
fine. And strictly, again, for for move-out purposes, yeah, again, so it's not, can't park there all day long, whatever it is. If they're actively moving out, great. Otherwise, we'd have the chief take any action that he wants. And we want to make sure that we get the word out to everybody ahead of time with what the parameters are going to be.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I just want to make sure, Chief, you were all set. If there's any additional considerations you
No,
think should be taken.
again, I understand it's a college town. You go to Boston, sometimes cars are triple parked.
Oh, yeah.
You can't even get through the alleys. So I think maybe this kind of alleviates the amount of people moving out all at the same time. So it's trial and error. We're trying to reduce as much inconvenience to the community. So we'll play it by ear, see what happens. If it doesn't work, we'll come back to the drawing table and try to maybe have a better idea next year.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Any additional questions from the board? Anything?
That makes sense.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Sullivan?
make a motion, we grant the request from Nichols College for parking waiver on the westerly side of Center Road on move-out day, April 24th, 2024, May 4th, 2024. There's no time there, so I assume it must be all day.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you.
Okay, Chief.
Thanks, Chief. Thank Chris. Good to see you.
Next on the agenda, we have SWCCC Dispatch IMA Renewal.
Good evening, Greg Linsky, the Director of the South Worcester County Communications Center. Kind of hard to believe that we're coming up on 10 years of operation, but we are. Through the Board of Directors, we felt that now was a good time to put the agreement back in front of both towns. It was signed originally in January of 14, at which time I believe Mr. Sullivan might be the only sitting member of the board, Mr. Marcy as well. And it was actually, I looked it up while I was sitting here, Peter Jankowski signed it as the town administrator at the time. And in Webster, there's not a single person left. So we felt it was a good time to put it back in front of the board so they can see what the agreement consists of. It does come with automatic 5-year renewals, so this is not a necessary step to have taken tonight. Again, we felt that it was the most appropriate step given the time that's elapsed. And it allows us to now have a current signed working document, which we've not had in about 10 years. So each time I have to apply for a state grant, I've got to send the document as originally signed and the letters that have come from the boards each time that we've made a modification over the years. So it's become a pretty burdensome document to sift through. This puts it all back into a single working document, and again, provides the boards the opportunity to see what the document is. So this document that was presented to you is a culmination of all the changes that have been made to it over the years. And the only language that's different from that is in the term section, which references the fact that it was originally approved in January of 14, an automatic 5-year renewal occurred, and that this renewal will take effect July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2029, at which point it would again renew for 5 years, unless one party to the agreement gives, I believe it's a year's notice is required to leave the agreement.
So what has changed from the original document?
There have been several changes over the years that have come in front of the both boards in both towns. Some of them were some clarifications of some vague language that was originally in it, particularly pertaining to how the personnel, or who the personnel fall under as far as payroll and such. Some of that has come out of audits over the years that the auditors looked at it and said, this is not actually correct, it should be worded this way. So all of those changes have already previously been approved. They just had never been put into a single document to have as a working document.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, go ahead, Mr.
I was gonna say,
Sullivan.
we just recently had a meeting last week, Greg?
Yeah, last week.
And Mr. Rude's not here tonight, but he was there, and when Greg laid everything out, obviously it makes sense to incorporate all the changes, get us back on the same page, especially whereas he's, as we all know, Greg's very active getting us grants and anything we can do to streamline the process. So I think if I hate to speak for him, but I think if Mr. Rude was here, I'd recommend us, sign the document.
Should we wait for when he's here, or should we?
I would
Let's do
say probably not. He was on board with all the changes. You guys have discussed.
I mean, again, all those changes have occurred with past votes of the boards of selectmen.
Yeah, we just memorialized.
This was strictly memorializing those past changes.
Yeah, he was on
I
board
just,
with
I
it.
just want to make sure when I'm signing my name to something,
Sure.
I don't read, well, I do read the term.
And Michelle, it occurred to me with Mr. Rubin not here, we'll just have to wait. You can hold on to that paperwork until he's able to sign it.
It's a pleasure of the board, Mr. Marcy.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we, pull it back up, that we approve the updated language for the Southern Worcester County Communications Center dispatch IMA renewal.
Second, I'm sorry.
Motion and second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I just want to say, having been the board member on that and a backup for a couple of terms, that they've done a really great job. Greg, you've done a fantastic job
Thank
keeping
you.
that going, and it's brought so much value to Webster and Dudley, so thank you.
Thank you, and
Bringing this to us tonight.
be remiss if I didn't recognize the hard work that's done every day by the line dispatchers, who are the ones that
Absolutely.
are actually taking all those calls, so.
Yep. And Greg handles that all the personnel stuff that goes along with that too, so great job by the team.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you. Okay,
Just wait.
up to, of course. Thank you, John.
I'll just wait for John. Perfect.
Whoops. There we go. Next on the agenda, we have Town Administrator provides budget update, including school committee voted assessment and FAA initial recommendation from 325. BOS takes any action relative thereto. Well, Mr. Ruda isn't with us tonight. He excused absence. He's and we'll bring this back on the next meeting of the Board of Selectmen. But I wanted to go over something. I did a little math, and I know we have said to the voters, the residents, that we were gonna be more transparent. And I noticed we don't have like a record of where we've been the last 5 years, where we're going the next 5 years, just some predictions, but projections. So I put together a brief little piece here, and if we could put that up, Michelle?
Sure.
What I did was I got some numbers from the town accountant. And I got the numbers for the Dudley Charlton Regional School District assessment to Dudley. And I took our general fund. And what I did was I started with year 2021. And I went, you can see the Dudley Charlton School assessment beginning with fiscal year 2021. I've got 2022, 23, 24, and 2025 is an estimate. That's what the school committee just voted on. And underneath that, you can see the change from previous year. To give you an example, 2022, that 429,750, That was me subtracting the 2022 budget from the 2021, having that number, and then assigning a percentage to it. And you can see over the past 5 years, the average increase per year for the Dudley Charlton Regional School District assessment to Dudley, the average increase has been 9% a year. If you go down the general fund, it shows our general fund 2021 through 2025, the estimate. And again, the year minus the year prior is the gain or reduction. Thank you. Trying to use non-finance terminology. Thank you. And you can see the general fund budget has gone up an average of 4% a year. Both are well above 2.5%. 9% is much more higher than 4%, of course. If we go to the next piece. Here's a graph. The big one on the right, that's the combined school assessment from Dudley Charlton Regional School District and the general fund. You can see in orange is the school assessment to Dudley. The yellow is the general fund. And you can see in 2024 something happened. The school assessment became larger than the general fund. And you can see in 2025 that difference is expected to grow even more. Now I want to stress, I'm not pushing a narrative. I'm not asking anybody to vote for or against anything. Your vote's the same as mine. I'm just sharing information because I don't want people to be surprised. Last year, and I'll take as much responsibility as can be put on me. Last year, that was a shock, what we went through. That was a surprise. Don't want to go through that again. Looking ahead with open eyes. I'm not asking people to vote for or against anything. I want to stress that. The next one. This is a line graph. This plays into a future slide. You can see where the school assessment, again, climbs above the general fund where the arrow is. And you can see both are trending up. Next one. So it's kind of what I do for work. Where does the trend take us? Where are we going? If things keep going the way they are now, if over the past 5 years the school budget has increased an average of 9% a year and the general fund has increased an average of 4% a year, we're dealing with Proposition 2.5. Where is this taking us over the next 5 years? Next one. And I put the numbers here. I just took the year prior for the school assessment. I added 9%. For the general fund, I added 4%. I put the numbers there just because I had it there initially without the numbers, but let's see the numbers. And I also had it initially there just in millions, but I don't know, 19M doesn't have the same weight to me as the commas to see what it is. And you can see it raises, it goes up. The school assessment at 9% will double in about 8 years. For the people who like math, that's the rule of 72, kind of. It's a general way of knowing at what point something will double over what time. And I promised myself I wouldn't bring that up, but here we are. So now again, this isn't me saying that, we shouldn't do this. But what I'm saying is with what we've got in stabilization, we've got overrides coming. If we follow this path, we have overrides coming. And like every year, 8 out of 10 years, we've got overrides coming. And I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. I'm not saying we should do it. I'm saying let's open our eyes to what's coming in the future. I mean, I saw an article in the Webster Times that said that and this was the Times reporter got confused and said that the school budget was level funded. Level funded is level funded. And it made me think people out there who don't super hyper pay attention or are focused or are math people would believe it's level funded and they're cutting. Nobody's cutting. Everything's going up. Does anybody have any questions? Mr. Zakowski.
Scott Zakowski, I would just ask, great work. I mean, that's an eye-opener. Add a line into that last one what does 2.5% on our current budget yield? You know, what does that escalation look like? 2.5 a year, and that'll give us an idea of how much we're going to have to override to keep things the same, you know, with the same kind of growth.
That's a good idea. I just wanted to start.
Oh, you did great work.
Thank you. I just wanted to start the conversation, that's all, because last year was kind of embarrassing, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was kind of embarrassing. And I don't wanna feel that again. I don't wanna feel that again. I want people to know. And like I said, I'm not saying we shouldn't, I'm not saying we should, I'm saying we should have our eyes open. I could be wrong, it could go up less, I could be wrong, but let's have our eyes open, Mr. Clark. And I want to thank Mr. Johnson. I ran these by him just because I'm more of a math and a presenting and less of the actual graphs. So thank you for making it look clean, Mr. Clark.
Richard Clark, Airport Road. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that. Will that be on the town website so that people can have access to it? Hopefully more visibility than just at this meeting going forward.
Okay, are we against that, or?
Nope.
I mean, it's,
Unless somebody disputes the numbers, then
yeah, if somebody disputes the numbers, so we'll wait.
you did the work.
Oh, we'll wait a couple days. If I'm wrong, I mean, I got the first piece I got from the town accountant, but if I'm wrong, if somebody proves me I'm wrong, I'll change it, but.
You know, Mr. Chair,
Mr. Sullivan.
I did read, if we're talking about the same article, and again, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I think the superintendent presented 4 budget scenarios, and he came out with a recommendation of one of them, and by majority vote of 5-1, and I believe the one was one of our Dudley reps who had spoken in favor of the superintendent's recommendation, but a Charlton representative made the motion and the argument, in her words, to take the maximum amount request from both towns. So even at their superintendent recommended amount, the increase far outstripped what we have in new revenues as a town.
And we don't have businesses showing up. We don't have it. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a great place to live. This is a wonderful place to live. It really is. We don't have Starbucks and Chipotle and all that other stuff, but this is a nice place to live, where somebody who just wants peace and quiet and to disappear, but unfortunately that comes with a cost. And it's about, there's a difference between value and cost. I mean, you have 2.5% and stick there, our quality of life probably isn't gonna be that good, but I think we all realize it, we need to spend more every year. It needs to go up more than 2.5, but how much? What's the value? I mean, I don't mind, personally, I don't mind spending more for something that's quality, within reason. But, like I said, I just want to start the discussion. We've got to have our eyes open. We're going to get through this year. We've got enough in stabilization. But next year, it's going to be close, depending on free cash and what have you. And, you know, we all thought cannabis was going to be the good thing, and we were going to make all this money from cannabis. Well, there was that lawsuit with the place in Uxbridge, I think it was, and places don't have to pay anything. And so that's not saving us, and I don't see anybody else moving into Dudley, so it's on us. It's on us. What do we want? I just wanted to do this so that, like Mr. Marcy, it's a transparency. I did this for myself, and I'm sharing it. But if I'm wrong, somebody says I'm wrong, these numbers are wrong, I'll fix it. And like Mr. Clark said, I'll look into putting that on the website. Worst case scenario, I'll throw it on my selectmen's Facebook page. It'll go there, and then we'll move it to the town site. So that way, somebody can at least have it now, before it gets up there. Mr. Marcy?
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for putting that together. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, for the cleaning up the charts and graphs. It is eye-opening. I know those are averages. You can actually see some double-digit numbers, actually, in some of the individual years. That's what stuck out to me. there's a couple of things here, like the town, the municipal sides, and I know Charlton goes to this too. They are confined to the 2.5%, and then you make your priorities within that amount. And that's what we do during our budget process that we've been very transparent and open about in the last month or so. And thanks to everybody who's participated in that. But, with the school, the pattern is, again, everybody on this board supports that school system, period. But our budgeting methodologies are just different, right? We start from the bottoms up, and and then we look at our priorities, and our budget is a statement of our priorities. We all know that. Mr. Joseph used to say that. School starts up here, and they work their way down to the number that everybody can work to. And I think going forward, that's what could use some work. And before last year, it was very much more collaborative with the school to kind of get to the number quicker. Granted, there's some numbers that get pushed later and later, it seems, every year from the state, so we don't have numbers to actually make the proper decisions. And I know that's one of the reasons the school is doing that this year. And then the second thing, I say it every year, I'm going to say it again, Chapter 70 continues to hamstring Dudley and Charlton in particular. We get the minimum. With all that's going on in the state right now, it's going to be really difficult to push that, but that's what the focus needs to be. There's a drumbeat out there, believe me, about figuring out a way to make that different in the future, especially for regional schools. So there's a couple of things I had in there. One, again, different budgeting methodologies, and two, Chapter 70 that we get the bare minimum on, and that just means that puts more burden on the taxpayer.
Mr. Sullivan?
Mr.
Thank
Massey
you,
was
Mr.
right.
Massey.
And I also want to just touch on, you referenced that stabilization fund. And I know there's people out there that don't believe what our auditor said, didn't trust, but the numbers don't lie. The reason why we have a higher than expected stabilization fund boiled down to 2 or 3 reasons. And essentially, excise tax was way above what we've made and what we projected, and our Chapter 90 money was 2 years. And as the auditor said that night, those are like one-time source of revenue. You remove those, and there was one other, I wish Mr. Maruda was here. We took those 3 out, it essentially puts us at where we historically are on stabilization. So we're high because of a one-time source of revenues. And again, social media, and Mr. Massey was talking, come get your numbers, transparency. There was a letter in the Times, and somebody referenced, I'm paraphrasing, that local town officials were shocked or stunned at the extra money we had. Well, we were, because we didn't have those figures till the end of the process, some of them. So as Mr. Massey said, numbers get pushed further and further into the process. We do the best we can, what we have, and I appreciate you falling on the sword as chairman, Mr. Siganovich, but none of us here, none of us up here, nobody, I'm gonna say nobody delayed the numbers intentionally, I hope not, to get us to where we need to be to set tax rates, to have revenue figures. So yes, we have stabilization, but it was a one-time source of revenue, and I'm sure if the auditor was here, he said it that night, very, very careful on how much we draw down and spend out of that. Thank you.
Mr. Johnson?
To give a little cover to the chairman, I believe I was chairman for the first part of that budget cycle, so.
Oh, that's when it was messed up.
Yeah, that's why I figured you wanted to.
Here, you take this now. I'm done. Thank you.
Whoever it was, nobody was non-transparent.
Mr. Marcy?
That's a word.
Well, we're being more transparent now.
Yeah,
We're
no.
making an effort, sticking my head out on this.
Well, we said we were going to, and we've all followed through on that, which is great. But just to pick up on something Stephen just said, about stabilization, like one-time sources of revenue, but we shouldn't want to spend our savings account to zero every year to do this, right? We need to, we have a bond rating to maintain. We need, there's some thresholds we shouldn't have to fall below. And we're in the position to actually have it to use, but at the same time, we shouldn't rely on that. We want to make sure we maintain what we have there, so there will be no cuts to public safety this year, as far as I'm concerned, because of that. We
we can't go there again, guys. We can't.
No. No. Anything else? That's it. I think I'm done now. Next
Thank
on
you,
the
Mr.
agenda, thank you all. Next on the agenda, departmental communication. We'll start with Mr. Gatsky.
Big snowstorm coming.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Nice segue to the snowstorm. Yes, sir.
Yeah, hopefully. Guys have been just doing routine maintenance, spring cleanup, trying to break in the new guys, trying to get them used to the way we do stuff, or trying to get them trained. It's been a little slow going with it, so that's about it.
So, Mr. Chair, I asked Mr. Gatsky at the last meeting, how close are you to fully staffed? Not counting the interim superintendent slash full-time foreman
I
position.
think
kind of
there's one driver short, maybe, and then it would be the operator, equipment operator position, which was my, I've been filling in. I've been going on the road, working with the guys. I've been having Amanda Gage, she's been helping me out doing my stuff. So I've been out on the road trying to help them get used to training them, because we only have a few guys that have been there for a couple of, years, so the new guys don't really know what's going on, so we're trying to break them in and get them used to doing stuff, so it's kind of hard right now.
Right.
It's a little slow going, so I've been having to go out on the road, run equipment. They're not familiarized with the equipment. I'm gonna try to get the sweeper going, catch basin truck going, and they're not familiarized with it, so I've been having to do that also. So I've been all over the place.
No, thank you, MJ.
So.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anything else?
No, that should do it.
Thanks.
Take a rest. Mr. Carmignani, do you have anything?
Good evening. Quick note, love the idea that there's an analysis of some numbers. The idea that numbers go out, there's some comparisons. It deserves a deep dive. It sort of deserves a second look. It is a good thing that that's out there. It shouldn't be a snapshot, but more of a living analysis of things. I could go for hours because I like my numbers. Collector's office is going to be busy because we sent out those pink bills. I'm going to be the most loved person in Dudley when the postman comes around. All the bills were due on March 7th. Those who had not paid will receive the demand bills. So inside of 3 weeks, we'll get a better estimate of interest, fines, and fees on those excise bills. We discussed the second excise commitment, which was $199,000. Doesn't get us close to where we were last year, but again, it's expected to have an additional commitment before the year end with some time to collect. Also, we are going to have our real estate bills due on 4/1. There's going to be a water sewer billing that's going to be a little closer to the 1st of May. Usually you have your bills, and then every 45 days, the water and sewer bills are due. In order to get everything in that fiscal year, water and sewer bills will be a little bit early. We hope for an open enrollment on April 12th with the Hampshire Council of Governments Insurance Trusts. We know what it's going to be for the increase for the upcoming year. Right now is going to tell us who stays on, who gets off, who adds. If you don't have a qualifying event, this is the time to go through and get them sorted out. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
Thanks, Rich.
Police Chief.
Just real quick, April 27th, we're gonna have the drug take back in the lobby. Anybody that has any unwanted drugs, expired drugs, they can bring them in. We'll also do a needle take back, sharps that day. Also, this month started the distracted driving campaign. So we got 55 hours dedicated to just traffic enforcement. We're gonna try to tackle on speeding and cell phone use. So you'll see us out there on West Main, Mason Road, and hopefully Airport Road, doing a little more traffic. And last but not least, with the warm weather, you're probably seeing a lot of construction out there. I apologize in advance for any road closures. We try to communicate with the bus companies as best as we can when we have construction going on. Currently, we have a construction on Route 131, North Schoolhouse Road, and I believe the water project's gonna kick back this week, and we'll try to get some more details as far as road closures to let the residents know. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Chief. Water sewer, you have anything? Mr. Sikowski? Got a paper, he's ready.
Yeah, first, to segue on what the chief just said, and my apologies as chairman of the Water Sewer Commission to those families on Prospect Street. We had a contractors started early on getting started again, and the communication wasn't there with the bus companies, and some kiddos didn't get picked up for school this morning. Our apologies for that. That won't happen again. We do have a meeting tomorrow between the engineers and the contractor tomorrow afternoon to set up the schedule. But that project for Prospect, Ellis, Warsaw, Fairview, First Ave will all be kicking up. A lion's share of that project will take between 4 and 5 weeks once it's started. There will be rave notifications. There will be better communication once that gets started again. But in any case, that's apologies for any confusions this morning. Also, I wanted to let folks know that our once annual public hearing for the Water Sewer Commission for rates, setting our rates for the next year, is this Wednesday here in this room. If you have concerns about it, as I do, I'm a user as well, so I pay the same bills. Please come to that public hearing for some discussion about how we're going to deal with our water and sewer bills for the next year.
Scott, is that gonna be posted everywhere, like, so everybody knows
What's
that? On our website, on Facebook? Debbie, do we
You
know?
talking about the public hearing?
Yes.
We mentioned it last Wednesday, our last Wednesday meeting, the first Wednesday of March. The posting was typed up at 7 o'clock on Thursday morning, and by Thursday noontime, it had blown up on social media. So
Oh, I know, but.
it's out there.
But they know about the public hearing?
The public hearing has been posted, and that I just figured it's another avenue to get information out there that we are having a public hearing on Wednesday.
Okay.
It should be happening on the April monthly meeting every year. That's the only time it happens, for each budget season.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Mr.
Thanks.
Sullivan.
So Scott, just 2 questions. What's the estimated increase for like your different tiers?
The recommendation from our rate study that was done in 2019 and then updated in 2022, the recommendation is 10%. We're working very hard, and we'll talk more on Wednesday about how we want to do that. I can only speak for myself and for the information that I have, but as a board, we're going to discuss it at length Wednesday night and come to the best decision we can come to, and keep our system up and running.
And another question, Mr. Chair, and I'm just, somebody had texted me earlier today. How come, well, you guys show up under, you don't show up under board, you show up under departments, but I'm on your website, your board site right now, and I don't see the notice for the public hearing. Someone texted me earlier and said it wasn't on there, and I said I was gonna check, and I did not have time. So there's no,
I'll be honest, personally, I don't know how, I know the posting went through, it went down to the town clerk on Thursday, the first Thursday of March. And it's been out there, and it made it onto social media before noontime. Less than, yeah, I believe it's on the, I don't know how public hearings are posted. That's on,
That's why I mentioned it, Mr. Chair.
we put it out there. But like I said, it was on with Dudley letterhead, Dudley Water Commission letterhead. It was on social media less than 12 hours after we mentioned it at our meeting.
so
So,
I just did a little surfing around, and I came up with your, on the right side of the page, it says upcoming meetings. And if someone were to slide over and click their way through, it does list in your agenda, rate increase public hearing. So I, as a user, I would make, maybe I should come to your meeting, but Wednesdays are tough for me. It doesn't even state, like we do our public hearing on our agenda, we post it, it says what the public hearing's for, who's coming in. This just says rate increase. So somebody, again, unless I'm not finding it, there is no notice on your page that says this is what the rates are gonna increase.
public hearings are posted through the town clerk, however they get posted.
Right,
Like
I'm
I
talking
said,
about yours. I'm talking about
again, I
yours.
don't know. We don't have a public newspaper. So it's, however it gets posted, it gets posted. That's the same as the town meeting warrant, it's the same as everything else. They all get posted the same way.
Well, I'm just, it was an elderly person that contacted me, and they're probably more savvy than I am, but their thing was that they couldn't find the actual rate increase, what it was gonna cost them.
And
So maybe it's on Dudley MA, maybe it's
it's
on
not
the main
what it's gonna
page.
cost them, it's what it's gonna cost us.
Michelle, would you know if it's on like the main Dudley MA page? Because
No,
it's not?
it has,
I don't know how they get posted. I don't, we post it out of our office. Where it goes from there, I don't know.
No. Like I said, it's listed under your agenda column, and then when you click on that, it doesn't, I don't know, I get it. It's gotta be somewhere if people saw it, but the average, pick a number, age, I'm 59. It's just the average 59-year-old had to click around to find it. I can't imagine being someone that's not savvy like me. That's all, I told the person I'd bring it up, and I'm glad you were here.
And I guess one other thing, the new treatment plant is up and running. It's near 100%, and our readings are coming back non-detect. So the water coming out of that station, going into any house in Dudley that's on the water system, the water is non-detect for any of the chemicals that PFAS is at non-detect, which is as close to zero as you can get without saying you're at zero, because we don't know.
Great news, Scott.
Yeah.
So that's
Great news.
that's okay.
Thank you, Scott.
Excellent. Any other departments? Okay. Let's see, next, we've got adjournment.
No, selectmen comments?
Oh, selectmen comments, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to jump ahead. Mr. Sullivan?
So, Mr. Chair, again, I apologize, 2 meetings in a row. I try to do these in the beginning. I'm sure I speak for the rest of the board when sending sympathies to former selectman Joe Sandrowski. He lost his wife in the last week or so. Joe served a number of years. He was also on the police evaluating committee. I remember that back in the day, and I'm not sure what else he may have served on. Very active with the veterans. Joe was a veteran. Ellie was very active with the Women's Auxiliary. Always saw him at the parade. So, again, speak for the whole board. We send our sympathies to the family of the Sandrowskis for their loss.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Mr. Johnson.
I'd just like to thank Chairman for trying to visually show something that tends to be strictly numerical and not easy to discern. So thank you for presenting the facts in an easy to see format. I only helped with the y-axis. That's my. You did all the work, so thank you. You know, a projection forward is obviously based on the best information you have from the past, which is usually the best indicator of what happens in the future other than special events. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Thank you. Mr. Landry.
Mr. Chairman, just to let everybody know that a discussion was had with LP1 back on, I believe, March 14th. And to give an update, the Department of Revenue have started their process at that time of what we voted on. They'll get all their team, which involves attorneys, CPAs, investigators, analysts, researchers, moving along to do what they do. And they will be done before fall hits with their reports, recommendations, course of actions. And it was recommended that before any action be taken, if people would consider, I know there's an article out there for audit committee, before they get to do their thing that they do, that anything be tabled to the fall special meeting when all the reports are out and all the details and facts are out and all the course of actions are laid out, so we actually know what's broken, then we know exactly what tool we need to use to fix it. So just give you a heads up.
Mr. Chair, can I ask a quick question?
Mr. Sullivan?
So, Mr. Landry, what you're saying is the course of action that we voted on the Department of Local Services, because somebody came in and said, let the auditor audit. So the course that we took, that somebody originally recommended, is now rolling.
Yes.
So in this, the audit committee, as you said, I'd like to see it hold off also, but that was gonna be made up of volunteers, CPAs, attorneys, whatever. That's what we're gonna get from DLS for free.
Correct.
So I'm not an official position, Mr. Chair. I agree with Mr. Landry. It would be nice to hold off, let the process play out. And if there's still an issue, we always have the fall meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Mr. Marson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good meeting tonight, guys. I just wanted to remind everybody that on Saturday, May 4th, will be this year's Dudley Little League Parade. We love parades. They have a rain date of May 11th, so we're going to leave promptly at noon from the town hall and then go to Crawford Field. So I hope to have, so they can kick off their traditional opening day ceremonies. It's always a big day in Dudley. I hope we have great crowds. Hope the weather's great to support the kids. So thank you for that. And that's all for tonight. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Marcy. I think I've talked enough for one day. I think I'll just look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Everybody.